Welcome back to Twilight Tales, the darkest corner of your imagination. If you're brave enough to dive deep into shadows, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with those who dare to listen in the dark. This story isn't just scary, it's cursed. Tonight we unravel what was never meant to be disturbed, the secrets buried in the old ruins. The wind never stopped in Dalamir. It howled like a hungry ghost through the crumbling walls of the ancient ruins that loomed just beyond. The village like a scar on the earth. Locals never went there, not even the drunk, not even the desperate. No one. But Ethan wasn't local. He arrived in Dalamir with a drone, a camera, and a dream of YouTube fame. Urban exploration, paranormal investigation, abandoned ruins. That was his thing. The moment he saw the blackened silhouette of the ruins jutting out against the gray sky, he knew this was it. This was the one. He ignored the old man at the gas station who muttered about the soil-eating souls and the bell that rings for the dead. Ethan laughed it off, as people like him always did. The more ominous the warning, the better the content, right? He posted a teaser on his channel. Tomorrow, we go where even God won't look. The ruins of Dalamir. Buckle up, explorers. That night the wind seemed louder. It wasn't just howling, and it was whispering. He recorded some for ambience, but when he listened back, it wasn't just wind. It was a voice. You will dig. You will see. He assumed it was just his brain playing tricks, a trick of frequencies, an audio illusion. And the next morning, at exactly 6:66 a.m., yeah, no joke, his phone glitched and showed 6:66. He packed up and headed out. The ruins sat in the heart of a withered forest, where trees twisted like arthritic fingers, and the light seemed afraid to land. There was no path, but something pulled him forward. Not curiosity, something deeper, something ancient. The structure, once a massive cathedral or fortress, no one really knew, was now a gutted skeleton of its former self. Walls crumbled, archways cracked, and the once grand spire had collapsed, buried under centuries of dust and moss. Ethan's drone soared overhead, capturing breathtaking aerial shots. But it was the main footage he cared about. His GoPro strapped to his chest, he entered the main hall, a vast echoing chamber lined with decaying stone pillars. The air was wrong, heavy, too still. He said something for the camera, some edgy comment about ghosts of the past watching, but his voice felt small. Then he heard it. The bell. A low, deep, reverberating bell toll that shook the stones and chilled his bones. It came from below. His camera caught his nervous smile. That fake confidence influencers wear like a mask. Guys, I think we found something. Let's investigate. He followed the sound to a collapsed stairwell, partially hidden beneath a shattered altar. Brushing aside debris, he uncovered a hole just wide enough to crawl through. There were markings on the stones, the spirals, jagged runes, and what looked like figures bowing before something with too many arms. Definitely creepy, he whispered, definitely going viral. He descended into the earth. The staircase was steep, claustrophobic, and soaked in moisture. His flashlight flickered, even though the batteries were new. As he reached the bottom, the bell tolled again. Louder, closer. The chamber before him was impossible. It shouldn't have existed. It was too deep, too vast, and too preserved. Columns of black stone lined the walls, glowing faintly with some bioluminescent moss. The air tasted like rust and rot, and at the center stood a statue. At least he thought it was a statue. It was a figure, humanish, but stretched, twisted, wrapped in chains that pulsed like veins. Its face was hidden beneath a cracked, jagged mask, and its hands were buried in the floor, fingers curled like roots. In front of it, 7 chairs, empty but facing it in a semicircle. His camera buzzed, glitched, then went dark. Ethan cursed, smacked it, and tried to reboot. That's when he noticed it. The floor under the statue wasn't stone. It was soft. He knelt, pressed his hand down. It gave way, like damp earth. Curiosity overrode fear, and he started to dig with his fingers. The soil was warm, wet, almost breathing. He scraped away layers until his fingernails hit something. Wood. A box. He dragged it out. A footlocker, sealed with a lock that snapped open the moment he touched it. Inside were journals. Dozens of them. All dated from over 300 years ago. The handwriting was frantic. The first entry read, "We begged them not to summon it. We pleaded. But the monks believed they could bind the devourer, that they could own it. Fools. They fed it our sins, and in return it showed them eternity. Now we are buried here. Now we are the roots." Another entry. "The bell tolls not for the dead, but to remind the earth of what it's holding." Another. "If you read this, your name is already etched on its tongue." The bell rang again. The statue's fingers twitched. Ethan backed up, heart pounding. "This isn't a joke," he whispered. "This isn't for views anymore." But something was moving. The statue lifted its head slowly, deliberately, and then it spoke. No mouth moved. No sound escaped. But the words were inside him, like a scream in his blood. "You opened the door. Now feed me." The chains snapped, and all 7 chairs were suddenly filled. 7 figures, gaunt, eyeless, skin stretched tight over bone, turned toward him in unison. Each wore the same cracked mask. Each whispered his name. Ethan ran. The stairwell was gone. The hallway twisted, warped, turned in on itself like a living intestine. He screamed, sprinted through pitch-black corridors that hadn't been walked. In centuries, the bell tolled. Again, again, again. Each ring shattered something in his mind. He fell, hit stone, looked up. He was in the main hall again. Daylight, birds chirping. His gear beside him undisturbed. He staggered out into the forest, gasping, eyes wild, clothes torn. He didn't speak to anyone. He didn't post the footage. He left Dalamir that same day, but he wasn't alone. You see, when you dig up secrets meant to be buried, they don't just haunt where you found them. They follow you, they crawl inside, they plant seeds. Ethan's channel went dark for weeks. Then a new video popped up. No title, no thumbnail, just static. Then a frame of Ethan, but not Ethan. His eyes were too wide, his smile too sharp, his voice wrong. Thank you for watching. You saw, you dug, now you feed. Since then, every person who watched that video, all 742 of them, disappeared. one by one, vanished. No trace. Only the sound of a bell echoing from their homes. They say the ruins of Dalamir still stand, but no one dares approach. No birds fly overhead. No animals go near. And sometimes, if the wind is just right, you can hear someone digging too deep. So if you're still here, still listening, you might want to check your floor. Listen close. Is it breathing? Because you're part of it now. Welcome to the Roots. You've just survived another cursed tale on Twilight Tales. Or have you? If your lights flicker tonight, you'll know why. Like, subscribe, and share. But only if you're brave enough to bring the bell home. We'll be watching.